Hey everyone, it's MrJordilicious again, and I'm back here with another quick stream tip video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Instead of giving you tips on a specific topic, I'm going to look at a specific plugin that I hope is going to make your life in OBS a little bit easier. Now, I think most of you are already familiar with the OBS Transition Matrix. If not, I actually covered it in one of my earlier videos, so check that out if you haven't seen that already. But if you've used the OBS Transition Matrix and you have a lot of different scenes, you probably know that it can be quite a mess to set it up if you have a lot of scenes and a lot of different transitions between those scenes. Now, I'm going to look at a plugin today called the Transition Table, which basically does the exact same thing. However, the UI of this plugin is a lot simpler, and therefore it's a lot easier to get an overview and to get the things set up the way that you want them to. So if that sounds interesting to you, don't click away, because I'm going to show you exactly how to install the plugin and how to use it as well. Now, as always, if you like this kind of videos, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you get a notification whenever a new video goes up on the channel. And without further ado, let's waste no time. Let's roll the intro so I can show you how it's done. So as I've mentioned already, today we're going to look at a plugin called the OBS Transition Table. And it's basically an alternative to the well-known OBS Transition Matrix. The functions of the plugin are basically the same, and it allows you to set different transitions between different scenes. Now, the OBS Transition Matrix also did that. However, if you've used that, you probably have seen that if you have a lot of scenes, that the size of the transition matrix can become quite big and quite daunting, and it can become quite a task to actually keep an overview of every different transition that you have set up between all your scenes. Now, the Transition Table has been developed by well-known developer Exeldro, and he actually set out to make a plugin that makes this a lot easier and to keep the overview a lot better and more clear when you try to set it up. So I'm going to show you today where you can find it, how you can install it, and how you can actually set up the plugin within your OBS. So let's jump into it right away. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go into our browser and we're going to go to the OBS website where you can look up the OBS Transition Table. And this will lead you to the plugin page where you can actually see an overview of what the Transition Table does. And if you scroll down, you can already see that it's a lot clearer from what the Transition Matrix actually has to offer. So we're going to go ahead, download it. Make sure that you select the version of your platform, either Windows, Linux, or macOS. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and install the plugin into OBS. Now, if you don't know how to install plugins in OBS, I highly suggest you watch my video on that, where I take you through the process and I show you how to actually install all your plugins in OBS. So you can find that video in the pop-up in the right corner of the video. After you've downloaded and installed the plugin, you will see that you find a new option under the Tools menu called Transition Table. Once you open it up, you will see the transition table and you will see the interface of it, and you will immediately also see that it's a lot easier to set things up and the interface is a lot clearer compared to the transition matrix. Now, from the get-go, you have 4 different things that you can set in the transition table interface. The first one is the from scene. So this is going to be your starting scene that you want to transition out of. The next one is going to be your to scene. Obviously, this is going to be your scene that you are going to transition to. Next up, you have your transition, so you can choose between your different transitions over here, and your duration, which by default is set to 500 milliseconds. So as you can see here, I got 5 different scenes set up, and they all just have random images. And as you can see now, they all just have a fade between the different scenes. But I want to change that. I want to make some transitions into a cut and others into a fade. So let's go back into the menu of the transition table, and I can select now that I want to go from scene 1 to scene 2. And I want to make that a cut of 500 milliseconds. I select that, so from scene 1 to scene 2 becomes a cut, and I click set, and there you have it. You can see now that that transition is set. And if we close out of that, and we go back to scene 1, and we go to scene 2, you will see that that is indeed a cut. There's no fade, it's just a hard cut that it changed into. Now if we go back, you will see that it's still a fade. So this literally only transitions from scene 1 to scene 2. Any other transition to scene 2 is still the very same. So you need to make sure that you set this up for every individual scene switch that you want to change your transitions of. Now, one thing that is very convenient within the transition table, and that actually makes it a lot more clear to have an overview, is that if you select any other scenes, so let's say I select the from scene 2, you will see that my previous transition now disappears. That is because these drop downs are actually also filters. So you can actually filter all your transitions based on your entries on the drop down. So you can also leave that empty, and then you will see all your transitions. So let's add another one. Let's say I want to go back from scene 2 to scene 1, and again I want to have a cut of 500 milliseconds. There you go. So now we have 2 transitions set up. I only see 1 because I've only selected the scene 2, but if we set this to empty and we set this one to empty as well, you see that you have both of our transitions are now shown. Now again, if you want to filter any of these columns, you can just select the scenes that you want to filter on. So in this case, I want to filter on scene 2, And there you have it. I only have the transitions where I will transition to scene 2 are being shown right here. And that's basically it. You can set this for every single scene and every single different transition that you have. As you can see, I only have 2 transitions set up here. But of course, if you have multiple selected in your OBS, you can have a stinger, you can have move transitions, which is another plugin, or you can have, of course, your luma fade or any of the other transitions that OBS has to offer. They will all show up in this transition window. And as you can see now, when I go from scene 2 back to scene 1, you will see that it's going to be a hard cut, and then back to scene 2, it's going to be another hard cut. But from scene 2 to scene 3, I didn't set anything up, so that's going to be your default fade. And there you have it. Like I said before, this plugin doesn't really do anything different compared to the Transition Matrix. However, it does make keeping the overview a lot easier, and therefore I think this plugin is definitely good if you have a lot of different scenes and you want to set different transitions between all of those scenes. Now, as always, if you have any questions about this video or any of the other videos that I've put up, you can always find me live over on Twitch. I stream there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So come on over, visit me in the chat, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them over there, and I will try my best to help you while I'm live. Or if you want, you can always join into my Discord, where we have a dedicated channel specifically for helping out with these quick stream tips. You'll find the links to that in the description down below. Or if you want, you can follow me on Twitter and send me any messages with questions that you have over there as well. And I will do my best that I can to help you out. Now, as always, if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and again, ring the bell so you get a notification whenever a new video goes up on the channel. And with that, the only thing that is left for me to say is that my name is MrJordilicious. You are all extremely delicious as well. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck and happy streaming. Oh, wait, that's a face. I didn't even see that. Look, that's a face. The scientist told me to come here, sir. Please speak in a larger font size. Smaller. Okay, slightly smaller. Like 12 pixels, 14 pixels. Go on. That is so